I am ready to help Tinubu solve Nigeria economic problems. Really? Interesting. The news in detail, please. A chieftain of a Labour Party, Basil Maduka, in this interview bears his mind on economic policies of President Bola Tinubu and his willingness to help government at the center to solve nation's economic problems. Adedayo Akinwole bring assets. They asked, how effective do you think Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu's economic policies have been, and what is the prospect that we could get out of this economic crisis soon? He replied, yes, as it was captioned by Mr. President and his economic team, renewed hope. In the first instance, what Mr. President did was removing the fuel subsidy. He was trying to make sure that there is a lot of resources coming into the Nigerian government so that they can spend money. If you look at it, yes, the money is coming in, but the question is the value of that money in the market. Does it reflect on the people? Yes, he has a very good policy as we speak, but who drive that policy is another question. Mr. President needs technocrats. He needs people who will say, I am not, who will not say, I am APC. This is APC government. Mr. President has to bring everybody together, irrespective of party. Nothing stop Mr. President from inviting P2B. What do you have for the people? You need to support the government. Obi can go, Mr. President, and say, I want to suggest this to you, and so the people can be liberated. Just like myself, Maduka, why am I doing this address? It is to let him know that somebody like Basil Maduka has something have on the table for him. If he asks me, Basil, what do you have on the table for Nigerians so that we can create this economic prosperity? I wouldn't mind because in my own private sector, I have 100 staff across the globe. For us to come together to drive this policy, I think within the 4 years, Nigeria will be liberated. They asked him, as a chieftain of the Labour Party, 1 year after, if he tries to look at what presidential candidate of the Labour Party has been doing so far, it is criticism of the government policies. In fact, the recent Supreme Court judgment on local government financial autonomy, where everybody is hailing the president, I think he has not spoken about that. It is criticism upon criticism. So what do you have to say about that? He replied, I think to my own understanding, he is an individual. Your perception is what you can see. You see, government is collectivism. I think opposition is better when you're in the house. So that when you are saying it, they will know that you are contributing. If you're outside saying the same thing, people might not take you serious because at times you can say that talk is cheap. Oh, if I were Mr. President, I would have done this. But when you're given an opportunity, you know that the dynamics will change. Now, since he's not Mr. President now, I think his view will be more pronounced, will yield more fruitfulness. If once in a while he visits Mr. President and says, Mr. President, I want you to do this, do that. Because all the people we want to rule are Nigerians. It doesn't matter. You must be the driver it doesn't matter, you must not be the driver, you must be the best driver. No, anybody can drive. Some people might have their own shortcut. I think maybe Obi might say something. I cannot answer for him. I think the judgment came in about 1 week ago. I think he still has something to say. But opposition is good when it is well channeled. He can call Mr. President and say this program. You can add it to liberate the people of Nigeria. I think it will be more meaningful. They asked, the Labour Party is in crisis and the party is here to resolve the crisis. Do you think the president can trust you to help solve Nigeria problems if you cannot resolve issues in your party? He replied, I think they're on it. Party crises are always normal. In a polygamous home, there must be a fight. I think they're trying to solve their problems. What we are talking about now is about Nigerians' problems, the economic problems. It is not a party affair again. Everybody goes to the same market. Inflation is all over the place. The issue now is how do everybody come together in collectivism to see to the welfare of Nigerian people? Because if everybody is hungry, you are criticizing, you are running helter-skelter. Nobody will listen to you. The Labour Party will solve their own problems. What you're talking about today is not a party issue. We are talking about the Nigerian people. They ask, what is it that you want to bring to the table that those there have not brought? He replied, if someone like me about 15 years ago, I was able to set up the Virgin Group. Today, I have over 100 staff across the globe. 3 PhD holders, some expatriates across the globe with the initiative I have. I want to tell you something. Sometime in February, March 2024, 6 companies from Nigeria were invited by the US Embassy. We were in Las Vegas where all the world major players in the industry were gathered. It was then the representative from Iran when they heard I am from Nigeria, and it happens that I led the team. They said Nigeria is a great country. I said, yes, of course. They said, how is your president doing? I told them what my president was doing. Are we talking about party? No. The image of every country matters. So an international businessman, when such people are trying to reach Mr. President, it does not mean that it is only a minister or a senator or whatever. It is people like us that tell Mr. President, this is what is happening in the business world. The international best practices for us to have direct investment. So I am available to Mr. President either to support me in my business. Moreover, I have not done any contracts in my life with government. I don't do government contracts. I've never from my local government. I've never from my local government to the federal. I've never and I'm not interested. It is how we do link Nigeria to international economies, where foreign direct investors see our place as a destination point. So if Mr. President asks my opinion and say, Basil, what do you have here on the table? I will put what I have on the table. I will put his own for us to drive Nigeria. He asked, or rather they asked, you have shown commitment that you are ready to help. If he's not coming to you, are you ready to approach the president or are you waiting to be called? He replied, I'm waiting to be called. I'm yet to make such a move. I believe that opposition at times is better in the house. If you are within, we promise Nigeria's economic prosperity, renewed hope. If those government teams are sincere, because that is the policy statement, they will always remind themselves of what they promised Nigerians. Mr. President, we need to do this. We need to do that. Because if you're outside, people will look at it and say opposition people, they're looking for contracts. They're looking for recognition. You will go and give them money. You will not hear them again. To the glory of God, I am not part of that. It is what do I contribute to Nigeria in my time, because every government come and go. The coming generation will hold us responsible someday. That all of us were there. Nobody will be talking about opposition. They would say, you people squandered the Nigerian economy. You have done this, and that is why it is not good for a party when they're in government. They will not see themselves as, carry go. That is opportunity to do whatever. We are in government. Anybody God helps to be in power should see it as an opportunity with their team. Let them not use it to witch hunt people. Let them not see it as just to deal with people. It is a call to service all over. They asked, a year and some months after President Tinubu assumed office, Nigerians had the opinion that the president should reshuffle his cabinet and allow the ministers that are not performing to go. Do you share that sentiment? He replied, yes, of course. At times, the political parties from what happened in the past were blaming the PDP government for squandering the Nigerian economy for 16 years because they were looking at it as a party affair. If Mr. President will look at Nigeria as a country where everybody is a stakeholder, you won't say the only person that will work with me is my party members. If you believe in your country, you want to liberate them, you go outside the box. Those people criticizing, bring them in. That thing you said you have, let us see if it is talk and do or you are just saying. We can, for instance, somebody like Minister of FCT, if you drive within Abuja, you will feel that you know what that is working. You'll be happy that so many roads are abandoned for some years. You'll be happy that something is going on. So every government feels happy when the people and the environment is happy. This is actually interesting. All right, on this note, I've come to the end of the news. So thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.